Hey there, Heather, ho there, it's Jeff Cutter Diamond welcoming you to the 200th Cutter Degrassi Unpopular Opinion. This is the milestone one, and the one that I'm going to end this series on. Now, I know you're probably thinking, if you are a fan of the Cutter Degrassi Unpopular Opinion series, thank you for watching through these past 2.5 years. But you'll be probably thinking, oh, I'm going to rehash my first ever Cutter Degrassi Unpopular Opinion, which is the one that sees me get mad at the students. They should have more blame to do with the Rick Murray situation. But technically I did that for 100th. So I didn't want to go through that route again. I'm going to rehash a couple of unpopular opinions I did. One of the most infamous unpopular opinions I did was way back a while ago. And it was my 7th unpopular opinion. I believe it's the highest viewed unpopular opinion at 105 views. Yeah, I don't think I have an unpopular opinion that's even hit triple digits, except for, I don't know what that. Yeah. So yeah, my second. Oh, it's second to Craig in being more of a dick, but still likable. CDUO 16. So yeah. The Emma's friendship with Manny one, the 7th one, which I did 2+ years ago, is the second highest viewed, with the prologue, aka the first ever Degrassi Unpopular Opinion being 3rd up, and CDUO 150 having number 70, having 77. So anyway, way back in the day, I talked about how Emma's friendship with Manny was like, it was crappy, but Emma was more of a friend to Manny than we all think she was. The problem was that Emma had the right idea but poor execution. But of course, in the past few months, I knew this would be my 200th unpopular opinion, Degrassi Reddit has been lighting up with anti-Emma sentiment, with posts and talking about Emma's terrible friendship to Manny and all that. And this will be a double, like CDUO in a sense. Like, I'm still going to say Emma was more of a friend to Manny than we all figured she was. But I'm also going to add that it's possible that Manny may have done the reverse Uno card after season 6 and trying to keep the relationship Emma as a friend, maybe to save Emma from herself. I'll explain more later. But anyway, so in season 1, Emma and Manny are best friends and all that. They were there for the season premiere, or series premiere of Next Gen, when Manny uses JT and Toby to stop Emma from being catfished, because Manny figured that Emma was going to meet this Jordan guy instead of watching a documentary which wasn't even on. So of course they managed to get Spike and Snake involved, and Emma learns her lesson about being catfished. But later in season 1, when Manny wants to go out for Spirit Squad, Emma's not so sure. She has a perceived notion about cheerleaders being so ditzy and all that. And Paige goes and says, don't worry about the Spirit Squad. We're going to have boys on the team. We're not going to be sexist. However, sexism is not gender-based. Sexism is based on perception. And Emma wants to write an op-ed in the school paper. She gets it in. Paige forces Manny to rip it up and all that, to keep her spot on Spirit Squad, and realizing that Spirit Squad could be cancelled. So they do all that, but in the end, Spirit Squad still goes on, and Emma's op-ed is still accepted, although she and Manny have issues with each other. And it seems that Emma was jealous of Manny being on the squad and not her. Of course, season 2 wasn't that bad with the whole friendship thing, although Emma was upset that Craig wanted to be with Manny instead of her, because Emma wanted to chase after Craig. After all, Emma and Sean helped Craig out dealing with his abusive father, and Emma probably felt that this would be a good boyfriend after Sean accidentally shoved her in an argument and Emma broke up with him. So Emma is mad that Manny's with Sean. She knows it. Everyone knows it. But she gets mad at Manny in the wedding episode. Spike and Snake get married. She's mad because Manny's asked Sean to go to the wedding. And there's friction between Emma and Sean. So the fact of the matter is that, Emma's not too pleased with Sean coming back. Emma also has the problems with a cake being done wrong, her hair being done incorrectly, and of course, Spike's abortion, potential abortion of Jack. Manny does tell Emma to calm down, saying that, things will be done by the morning. And Emma says, butt out. But the fact of the matter is that Emma can't get it out of her head and decides to confront Snake about it. She feels bad about almost ruining the wedding and all that, even though that she knew she had to do the right thing. And she was upset that Manny told her that stuff and says, a real friend would help me out, thanks a lot. And gets angry. However, she starts to learn things and makes up with Manny and all that. Season 3 was when things were terrible between Manny and Emma's friends. Manny likes this guy named Sully, who Paige tells will only put out for certain girls. And Manny doesn't want to be cute. She wants to be hot, not cute like puppies and kittens. So what ends up happening is that she's told to go for hotness. She decides to buy some stuff. Emma's a little bit unnerved by it. But the hotness works, and JT, who is pointing after Manny, bumps into things twice, including when Manny has the thong outside the pants. Emma basically is not too happy with that, especially with Manny going towards Sully. I think she wanted Manny to go with JT because JT likes her. Manny then gets mad at Emma when Emma calls her out on her hotness, saying that, when everything has to be about you, doesn't it? I helped you out with a few major situations, including the environmental club. Your stupid environmental club, because she was getting Emma the looks at the environmental club, but Emma probably realized she should not use Manny for anything, and that she needed to be honest. Manny's upset with Radich telling her that the thong outside the pants is wrong, thinking that Emma said something, but no, because schools don't allow underwear outside the pants. So Manny decides to go commando, and JT saves Manny from being embarrassed. And Emma's upset that Manny still wants to go with Sully. Of course, it goes to a head when Manny goes to a rave with Emma to look after Chris, because Emma has eyes on Chris after Sean savagely breaks up with Emma and goes to the Candy Bennett's. So anyway, Emma finds out that Chris has a girlfriend, and Manny says, go after him. Emma says, no, I can't be evil. So Emma decides to stay put. Well, she wants to destroy Chris and Melinda's relationship, but found she can't be that evil. She does give Chris good advice and all that, and then leaves. Then finds Manny and Craig in her bed. She ends up having to sleep on the floor. Anyway, Emma and Manny have a talk at school the next day, and Manny says, well, you're one to talk. You stayed at the rave to be with Chris. And Emma says, I did, but then I decided to leave because it was too evil. I can't be that way. And then she yells at Manny, saying that you have to make a choice. Make a good friend or pretend still to be hot and all that. And Manny says, I'd rather be who I am now, Emma. And Emma goes, you don't want to be friends. Manny says, not with a stuck-up prude princess like you. And Emma then says, fine, I don't want to be stuck with a school slut. So that's what happens, and they break off as friends. They both have their own things, and then when Manny has that abortion angle, when Craig impregnated her, and of course Ashley outed them. Ashley had a point. I mean, I can understand why Ashley did that. I think she was more mad at Craig than Manny. But it all go for a head when Craig decides to win Ashley back with a song. What the heck, Ashley? You didn't have to take Craig back. Why did you take Craig back? But anyway, Craig aside, Manny was thinking of an abortion. But Manny and Craig were told to babysit baby Jack, Emma's brother, to see if they're good parents. But they can't really do it. So Manny thinks about abortion, and Emma says, there's great adoption agencies you got to carry this kid and all that. And then Manny says, I just can't be a teen mom. The simple fact is that, she still thinks about the abortion, and then Craig is not happy with the abortion. Of course, what we the audience know, and what other people don't know, is that Craig probably wants this baby as family because his parents are dead. Well, one's an abuser and deserved to have died. But anyway, and Joey he doesn't think of as his family for some reason. But anyway, yeah, Craig was upset. Emma tells Craig to back off. Craig tells him, I don't want this abortion. Me neither. I agree with you, Craig, but it's Manny's body and her right to choose. And if she wasn't my best friend, I'd be mad. And then she goes on and says that, Craig goes, it's my baby and Manny's body. It's her choice. And Manny's upset, is shocked that Emma would protect her, even though that they had kind of a falling out. So, Manny's shocked that Emma would do such a thing. But I still think that in my mind that Spike must have said something, because Spike knew Manny was pregnant. Spike must have said something to Emma for being a good friend, and Emma thought she needed to be a good friend to Manny. And then season 4 happens, and Emma loses Manny as a friend on her own fault. And that's, mind you, say that. Manny finds out that Emma wants Chris back and says, I can give you a makeover and all that. Remember, Manny exposed Liberty's love for Chris and says, I can make you hot and I can make you go after Chris. And Emma's like, I don't really want to go after Chris. What do you mean? I just don't want him to date Liberty. What would people think about me if Chris and Liberty dated? And Manny says, wow, Emma, that's a cold statement. And you've been making statements like that for years. Of course, talking about the abortion. Then, although Emma did protect her in the end. But yeah, it just struck a nerve. And Manny tells Liberty about the plan, and Emma just tells Liberty, I guess I just miss Chris. Like, you could have easily have sucked yourself out of the situation, Emma, by saying you miss Chris, and didn't have to make that statement about what would Chris and Liberty's relationship mean for me. And for me, it's like, since when does Emma care about what people think? She's a crusader, and she didn't care about what people thought of it. Like the other side of the argument, like Tracker, aka Sean's brother, in the whole school selling out their news space for money and all that, for supplies. Schools need supplies. And Raj for the whole GMO foods thing, which they're both wrong about. So Emma doesn't have a friend group. She goes towards Paige's clique to get rid of Rick and probably fit in. And then she bumps into Manny and Liberty in the washroom and says that she's going to hang out with Paige. Have fun with your hot tub. Basically, just snapping back at them, saying that you dare show me off and break off as friends with me? Screw you. I got this one. So the fact of the matter is that Emma thinks she's in good hands. All that. They managed to get Rick in trouble. They do the orange ribbon campaign and people buy orange ribbons, but Emma does not foresee the students using the orange ribbons to go after Rick for their own good. And I guess it was mob justice because, Raj refused to help the situation. But anyway, Emma then says some stuff, and then Rick tries to buy Emma's forgiveness in a sense. Emma was almost willing to take the money, but Alex chews her out and then told Paige, who told Emma no sympathy. And then when Rick gets beaten up by everybody, Emma steps in, saying that this is not the way to fix the domestic violence situation. And obviously Emma is shunned. And I still say Paige had something to do with the fact that Emma's only true people she hung out with was the Quiz Bowl team of Heather, Toby, and Rick alongside her. Of course, I made Emma easy prey for Rick. But of course, Emma, didn't have Manny or Liberty or a good friend group to help her out with maybe thinking about Rick's advances and all that. And then that is what happened when he had the gun put at Emma. And Emma thankfully gets help from Sean, who accidentally shoots Rick dead in the stomach. Emma feels guilty and wants to fix the problem, I think. So Emma and Manny start being friends again. I guess because of Emma's trauma. They're both in Dracula and Manny realizes that Emma is going to the ravine with Jay for some stupid reason. And Emma says, well, yeah, I'm giving him blowjobs, but at least I'm not getting pregnant, and snaps at Manny. So then after a gonorrhea attack forces Manny and Liberty to be the main girls alongside Emma, with Alex and Amy gone, Manny tells Emma that you have to fix this problem. We all know something's wrong. This is not the Emma we all know and love. And then Emma is upset when her co-star destroys the scene, and then she goes after Jay and tries to fix her problems. But season 5 was when the friendship was really put to the test. I mean, Emma and Manny went to a party. They see Peter, and Peter's interested in Manny, but not Emma, although Manny wants Peter to date Emma. Manny does her flashing the camera bit. I'm going to be famous. And then all of a sudden, Peter blackmails her, and when Manny can't pay up, Peter distributes it to the school. Everyone's upset. Emma's upset, but not for the reason you think. She's upset because it's Peter's house and all that. How dare you try to steal my man? Manny's like, I wasn't trying to steal your man. I was trying to help you out. Yeah, right. And of course, as always, Emma misses the mark. And then once Manny is kicked out of her house for not bowing down to her father, Emma decides to take her in. I guess because Emma felt guilty, and then she learned that Manny was right the whole time, so Emma had to fix the problem herself. Of course, we soon learn that Peter is Hatsunako's son, but why did she not expel him? I don't know. Brotherly love. Am I right? But unfortunately, the Emma-Manny friendship was not that great because Emma snuck around with Peter behind Manny's back, took control of Manny trying to lose weight for a role. Of course, Emma had her own problems with the family, with Snake being kicked out of the house. But Emma wanted to be in control of everything. And I figured that she really wanted to control Manny in such a way that in season 5, she's like, if you ruin my plans, I'll throw you out. And all that. Like, Emma knew that Manny would be easy. So she wants to throw Manny out for telling everyone about her eating disorder. But then she suffers a panic attack, goes to the hospital. Manny's willing to help her out. And then by season 6, Manny's okay with Emma dating Peter. Although a lot of fans weren't. And then Sean pops back in the picture, and Manny tells Peter about Sean's history with Emma. And Peter gets scared and wants an answer from Emma. Who do you love, me or Sean? Emma doesn't give a straight answer. Peter decides to do the best thing and get rid of the competition. So he manages to do such a thing, get Sean kicked out of school. Emma doesn't believe Sean's bullshit. And then Emma is still with Peter, and then they have a drag race between Peter and Sean for Emma's heart, seemingly. Sean hits a pedestrian, is told by Jay to run home because they'll go easy on Peter. Emma then sees Sean, forces him to confess, and, Emma and Peter are together. However, Manny tells Emma that Peter is scum and all that, and he was the proprietor of the drag race and all that. But Emma says, but who was in the hospital holding my hand during the eating disorder? Of course, Emma's wrong because that was Manny. Manny says, how do you get the mask in your locker? It's like, wait a minute, I didn't tell him my locker code. And then Emma finally snaps and tells Peter off, and Peter says, I had to destroy Sean for us. And then Emma breaks off with him. Of course, the big issue is that, Emma was not upset when she had Peter. Well, she wanted to destroy Peter for Manny, revenge porn, but then she got wooed by Peter. So, unfortunately for Emma, she was easily wooed. Obviously, there's a bit of a character change with that. But the fact of the matter is that Emma and Manny's relationship, that wasn't the worst thing in season 6. When they throw a party they were still living together. When they throw a party for Liberty's birthday party, Lakehurst comes in and tries to destroy it because of JT being with Mia. JT actually learns he needs to look for Liberty. I think in the back of his mind, he thought that if he goes after Liberty and gets rid of Mia, then he won't have to deal with the gang war. So then he tries to look for Liberty, but Drake Lampley and Johnny DeMarco are there, and Lampley stabs JT in the aorta, makes him bleed out, and then he dies. And, that was horrible. We didn't know about Emma and Manny's thing until the second. Well, there was one episode with Toby's feelings towards Liberty and all that, and then the next episode was If You Leave, when Emma finds out that Manny is told she can go home because of the tragedy and all that. It must have been hard on her, and Emma's upset. She wants Manny to stay with her and all that, but Manny says no. But we'll have a girls' night. Manny ditches it, and Emma's upset. Can you blame Emma? Emma wants to talk to Manny, and Manny says, I don't have time for you, Emma. And then Emma's upset, especially when Manny is with Damien and goes out on a date. And then Mia says, wait a minute, Damien, your family knows Drake Lampley. Have you had contact with him? And Damien stutters, but then Manny's upset with Emma, saying that you can't let things go, can you? Emma tries to reason with everyone. They try to reason because Lakehurst was coming to Degrassi for a cheerleading competition. And Emma hates the competition because, it's dancing on JT's grave. And JT and everyone says, well, this is good for the school. And I think Simpson was trying to say that logistically they couldn't cancel it because of everything going on. So Degrassi wins the competition, but unfortunately they win it kind of because Emma and the other guys want Degrassi people could say, go home, Lakehurst, throws Lakehurst off, and then there's a fight. Emma gets blamed for it, Manny detentions, no suspension though. Snake blasts Emma, and then Emma says, I'm upset. Everyone wants to move on from the JT situation, and I'm pissed. She actually said that word, pissed. Like 2 weeks. And Snake says, I know. Manny knows about the JT situation, but you need to fix things with Manny. She's your best friend. And it's time you realize that. And Emma realizes it and tells Manny at the spot where JT got stabbed, saying that, I have to show you this. And Manny says, Emma, I understand how you feel, but you're trying to make me the bad guy because it didn't work. And Manny says, we're a team, Emma. Your problems are my problems, and my problems are your problems. We can fix this together. And they become friends. And that's the last time Emma basically tries to screw up Manny and all that. They become good friends in season 7. There's no major catfight and all that. Of course, with this whole season 6 thing, when I did another unpopular opinion, I've done a few of them, is that Emma was upset because, this stabbing happened steps from her house at a party that should never been thrown, with Spike and Snake absent. And I think Emma was just worried about the repercussions, what the police would say and all that. And maybe wanted Manny to pay dearly, saying that it was Manny's idea for the party and all that. I think she wanted to get Manny in trouble. But anyway, yeah, Emma and Manny become fast friends again. And then season 8, the friendship is put to the test when Emma and Manny actually wanted to room together. But Smithdale screws up and puts Manny and Liberty together and Emma in another room. And instead of Emma going with her roommates and talking about things, and Emma trying to find new friends, and then Manny and Liberty together, Emma pulls strings to get the 3 of them, Emma, Manny, and Liberty, in the same class with Kelly, thinking it's another girl, but it's a guy. And then messiness happens. Kelly and Manny were supposed to be boyfriend and girlfriend, but Emma manages to steal Kelly from Manny's clutches. That relationship doesn't go over too well. Emma becomes a little bit controlling, and Kelly's dad basically wants him to go back to the Yukon to work for money, saying that this whole recycle project is terrible. And then Kelly decides to go back to the Yukon, mostly because Emma was controlling, didn't want him to eat meat and all that. And Emma was upset. She almost tried to eat meat herself inside this before Spinner and Holly J talk her out of it. And then, Emma hooks up with Spinner at the end of season 9, and that's upsetting. What's more upsetting in the Holiday Road episode, when Kelly leaves Emma high and dry, Emma tells Spike and Snake that she was lost because Manny was in Hollywood being an actress and Liberty was in pre-law. She lost her 2 best friends. Although Emma and Liberty's friendship, how? Like, they were frenemies more like it. But, Emma, I think, was upset that she felt that Manny left her. And I did say in the end of season 8, did Manny and Liberty decide to, when Manny went to Hollywood and Liberty went to pre-law, was that a justification to just basically leave Emma because Emma was being controlling of them? Possibly. And then Emma was chasing friends instead of grades. She had lost herself. She was nothing without Manny, seemingly. It just sucks. Okay, so here's the thing. I gave you synopsis, which took a little too long. But the fact of the matter is, Emma was a good friend to Manny. Unfortunately, Emma's ideals was not the best ideals, and I think that she made a mistake. She made a mistake and thought that she had fixed the problem, but she couldn't. So, in hindsight, she wrecked herself. So, what I'm trying to say is there could also be a second thing behind it. And the second thing is, what if Manny wanted to keep the friendship with Emma for Emma's protection? Because at times Emma wanted to keep Manny from self-destructing and all that. Although it would often lead to Manny getting mad at Emma. But what if the tables were turned and that Manny was trying to salvage the relationship so that Emma didn't self-destruct? It was the reverse Uno card, but this time Manny had good intentions and they worked instead of Emma's intentions. That's just something you want to think about. And the fact of the matter is that Emma wasn't the best friend to Manny and all that, and that's understandable. But I think Manny wanted to keep Emma as a friend and want to keep Emma from self-destructing. She even said so in season 6, the whole Sean situation. She said, I really want to make sure Emma stays with Peter, because if Emma is towards Sean, she's going to self-destruct. And tell Sean that Emma is in a good place right now. She doesn't need to self-destruct. I think she wanted to help Peter and Emma, but also maybe break them up because, Emma and Peter were not well received by the Degrassi fandom. And can you imagine the end of season 5, what the writers were feeling with the fan base? But yeah, I think Manny wanted to be the hero and save Emma from herself. And Manny saving Emma from herself was much more effective than Emma trying to save Manny from herself. I think Manny realized that Emma was just not herself and all that. I think Manny realized that Emma was going through a metamorphosis. That she wasn't the same person she was in the first 3.5 seasons. The crusader and annoyer of worlds. That she was just basically clingy. And Emma being clingy towards friends and boyfriends. That was understandable because of the Rex situation. Because guess what? The Rex situation did ruin things for Emma. She had a situation she couldn't control, and she never asked for help with those situations. Although people said she should have asked for help. Well, definitely she should have asked for help. Because if she asked for help, she probably would have been in a good place, and she probably would have gotten her answers. So, that's just sucky. But the fact of the matter, guys, is that Emma did her job. And Emma thought she was being a good friend towards Manny, but in the end, Emma was just being a bit prudish, stupid, and being controlling. I get that, but at least Emma made the effort to try to help Manny out. Emma could have left Manny high and dry, and all that. Emma probably was just upset with herself, with Manny going downhill, that she wasn't doing her job. Some people might say that Emma probably wanted to have a gay relationship with Manny. If was jealous when Manny went out with boys, she wanted Manny as a girlfriend. I don't think so. Why would Emma chase boys if that was the case? That's not true. Take it for what it is, but, it just seems awkward and all that. Emma was so awkward, it hurt. And that's all there was to it. Emma was a good friend to Manny, but she let herself get in the way of things. So that's all I've got for that thinking, and thank you for supporting 200 Cutter Degrassi Unpopular Opinions within 2.5 years. I know that there weren't 200 different ones, as in I've done the same one, there multiple times I've done the same ones, like the students, Radich, a lot of Rick Murray stuff I did doubling down on, but it's still 200, and I'm surprised I did this. I thought I was going to be stuck at 50, but no, I got to 200, and that's where CDUOs will stop. So I will stop doing CDUOs, but I will be doing a couple of analytic videos on the people who have been featured in my 200 Degrassi Unpopular Opinions the most, and the seasons. So thank you for watching. I'm Jeff Diamond. Adieu.